They still haven't fixed my Twitch name. I like Uku tunes though. Let's get started.
And as always, we start out with everyone's favorite minute 8-second cutscene.
Oh, we got that timer sync now. Looks good. Boogie percent is a race category that is basically the glitchless run, but it ends when you collect the jar of fly honey after defeating Boogie Tent.
This being a race, we will not be seeing any instances of the ONET manipulation, which takes it from average 30 minutes down to about 19 minutes. Uko, what's your best for that right now? About 18?
I have an 1831 ONET RNG manipulated. That is the fastest that's ever been pulled off. But regardless, RNG manipulation, first off, is only done by, the more skilled runners who put more time into the game and put time at all into learning the manipulation itself. But it's also not allowed in races and tournament settings like this because we want to be able to level the playing field for all runners, old and new.
With all the RNG that's abound here in ONET, we'll definitely be seeing a couple gatekeepers as we go through.
Oh yeah, the Boing ONET where he just gets a 27-minute ONET like it's no problem. Boing and RomTimney both look very evenly matched in terms of movement and pathing. This is a nice little sync we've got here. Manip is possible to keep up in a race setting. If there's anybody who's done Manip enough to where they can just pull out an attempt and do it right off the bat, they could pull it off. It won't work every time, but they could. But if there was a race and both runners were doing Manip and one of them failed, they would both have to reset and it'd just be a fiasco. I used to do that when I did Mother 1 races with Skate. Before we had the early game manip optimized to be 100%, we would just kind of hope that we both got it, and if not, we would reset.
So now we'll be seeing our first instances of enemies out in the overworld here. Now that we've gone back to bed, the enemy spawns have turned back on as we make our climb up the hill to Meteorite here.
And already we see both sides taking advantage of their environment to do some crazy dodges. They're very much taking advantage of the crow's movement patterns and the bushes and their environment to their advantage. Couldn't get away from that dog, though. Boing had a very clean hill climb. He's already nearing the top now. And this dog fight should be nice and easy. If there's any one enemy that you want to fight on the Onet hill, it's going to be a dog, because it's just straight up the easiest one to kill. And it gives you the most experience, too. It'll give you a level.
It's funny, it's the easiest, but gives the most experience. Should set him up for a little bit of an easier shark fight later on, too.
Needs to go down a little bit further for the despawn. That's one of my favorite moves right there, to get around that dog, is to get him caught on that bush and go around the big tree. But don't think that since there is this degree of separation between them, that it's not still anyone's game.
We are far from being out of Vonet. You'll see that Boing's making the walk back down the hill here, and now that Buzzbuzz has joined the party, spawns have turned off overall, allowing him to walk freely however he wants without any encounters.
Boing has just encountered the Starman Jr. He tries to impede your path and make sure that you can't succeed on your way to defeating Gygus, or in our case, Boogie Tent.
This fight can be quite trolly too, soaking up a bit of time depending on the type of PSI attacks and what Buzzbuzz feels like attacking with at the time too.
Yeah, the Starman Jr. fight is impossible to lose, which is always nice and everything, but if Starman Jr. uses PSI Fire, that takes a lot of time to happen because a lot of text is associated with it, because PSI Fire is going to attack your entire row of party members, including Ness, Pokey, Picky, Buzzbuzz, and the dog if you have him, but thankfully we don't. And, go on.
Oh, I was going to say I saw a question here. It is possible to die to Starman Jr., but it takes a heck of a lot of effort. You got to level up Ness enough to get the power shield and use it to override Buzzbuzz's psychic shield.
Yeah, you have to actually, before you get Buzzbuzz, you have to grind on all the very tiny enemies out here to get to level 12. And that takes a very, very long time. The only way
just as long as to grind on dogs and winters for buying the T-Rex spat before moving on.
Yeah, the four moves that Starman Jr. can do is PSI Fire Beta, PSI Fire Alpha, which both take the same amount of time, PSI Freeze, which it attacks one person, so it's not nearly as long as Fire, or he can just be on guard, which is going to be the fastest outcome. And from there, Buzzbuzz can do almost any amount of damage that he decides to. And thankfully for RomTimney, he got a smash.
Yeah, and that wraps up Starman Jr. Looks like both of them had a fairly clean Starman Jr. fight here.
Oh yeah, the Starman Jr. fight, that theme is super jammy. I love the bass. Boing is doing what's called a stutter step around these snakes. Certain enemies only move when you do, so you have a very small handful of frames to actually move before an enemy with that movement pattern will start moving toward you. So what you can do is you can stutter step by rapidly tapping the D-pad in the same direction so that you can move without those enemies moving toward you. In Boogie Percent, that's a very important thing to know how to do. Two or three, I think.
Boing is entering our first shopping sequence of the run. Part of that, we're going to be selling the Mr. Baseball cap his friend gave to him as a treasured item and trade it off for the baseball cap, which is only one less in defense, but you get to get the copper bracelet instead to make up for that.
Yeah, the bracelet will give you 5 extra defense, so overall you will have more. This Pogo Punk right here that Boing is choosing to fight isn't required, but it's very, very helpful and highly recommended in the speedrun because it sets your experience level to be where you will level up after you beat Frank, so that you have some guaranteed psychic points and a good amount of HP when fighting Frankenstein Mark II. And it also has a 100% chance to drop a hamburger, which is a very helpful healing item in Onet. He's also electing to get the can of fruit juice, which is a nice 6 HP boost. Or 7 in this case. That's very uncommon.
Yeah, depending on how much damage you can take, it could be a good buffer for these first 3 fights.
Yeah, there are a lot of different ways you can use the can of fruit juice, and it's always interesting to find new ways to go about it. RomTimney's going for the shark despawn there, but it looked like it didn't work at first, but he got it there. Was that 3 misses in a row on Timney?
I'm not sure. I missed it there.
I just thought I heard 3 of the same sound effect. Boing is heading into the Frank fight. This is a very, very, very scary encounter. And Boing has the lowest HP that you can possibly have here, so it's relatively dangerous. Basically, every single time that you get hit, no matter how small the amount of damage, you are going to want to heal on the next turn, because his very next move could very easily kill you.
And even if you know you're close to killing him, you're still rolling the dice, because at this level, Ness still misses a lot.
Yes, he does. He is not he's not the MVP of the Onet Super Sluggers. Likes to miss stuff with his bat. So what Boing just did is a very signature move for Earthbound speedrunners. He took advantage of the rolling HP meter. So when you take an attack of mortal damage, which should kill you, the HP meter scrolls down 1 HP at a time. So you can take advantage of the time that you have left to kind of pull something out in time, and he used that to his advantage when healing. So that even though he took mortal damage, he revived himself in time before dying. Looks like Timney got past Frank as well, heading into Frankenstein Mark II.
Yeah, Frankenstein is a semi-scripted fight. Every other turn you'll see him attacking. The first attack that Frankenstein Mark II do is a guaranteed punch. And after that, it'll be a coin flip whether he'll tear into you for about 34 damage versus the punch for 15.
Yeah, every odd-numbered turn, Frankenstein Mark II will just unleash a burst of steam, which doesn't do anything. and on every even numbered turn, he will attack you. So it always helps when there's a boss that's scripted like that to know what their next move is gonna be or might be when making your next move. Frank doesn't give you the option to rest and heal until you actually go back inside of the arcade first, which is why you see them go in and back out of the building again to go heal.
I know casually, Frank becoming a good guy and healing you is something I completely missed, and I think it's a kind of more one of those well-hidden secrets from the people who play it casually, that Frank heals you after the fight.
Yeah, that is very easy to miss, actually, because you try talking to him again immediately while you're there, but then you go back inside and you think there's nothing else.
And it's like, why would I come back? He did nothing.
So we're just gonna load up on some fast food. Like I said earlier, hamburgers are a very pivotal item in this town. You're gonna need a lot of them if you want to survive.
Ideally, this purchasing sequence will last them until after the cops fight, but it doesn't always go that way.
Yeah, Titanic Ant can either, gracefully let you through or absorb all of your burgers, and you might need to go buy some more. But before we take on the boss, what Boing is going to need to do is grind on attack slugs to level 8. Looks like he found a 4-pack immediately upon entering, which is good.
We'll get to possibly see the Boing trademark 27-minute O-net with his slug grind here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna have no issue with it whatsoever. The reason we need to get to level 8 before fighting Titanic Ant is because level 8 is the level that Ness learns his special psychic move called PSI Rockin', or whatever you name it. Your favorite thing that you name at the beginning of the game before you hit start is what your psychic move becomes. So we're at level 6, which means we need to grind just for a little longer, a few more minutes.
This is an area where you see each runner has their own little bit of different strategy here, but I know the two primary ones are get all your slugs on the bottom floor, because on the middle and top floors you can have a slug and an antoid, and getting in a fight with an antoid at this low of a level is not ideal, because they hit for hard and they can also life themselves up. The other strategy that I see commonly is get 16 slugs on the way up on the ground floor, and then take a 6-pack of slugs on the top floor, pushing them over to level 8.
Yeah, the number of slugs you need to fight in here total is 22, and it's however you want to math it out to get to that amount. The safer option would be to grind just on the bottom floor because there are no black antoids that spawn on the bottom floor, but it's sometimes worth the risk to grind for that 6-pack on the top to round it off at 22, depending on what you want to go for. And I think Boing is the type to go for the 6-pack. Also, a difference between grinding strategies between Boing and Timney is Boing is going to walk back and forth to the left and right to reactivate spawn tiles over and over, whereas Timney is going to be despawning and respawning the room, or leaving and entering the room again to reset the spawn tile that's right there.
One of the advantages of Boing method is you don't lose the 5-second transition period between going in and out of that door.
It's actually not 5 seconds for that door, it's 2 seconds.
Oh, is it 2 for there? Okay.
Yeah, the door transition for doors that where the music doesn't change and the area doesn't load is 2 seconds. But if the music is changing and it's a different area that's being loaded, it's going to be a 5-second transition.
still feels like 5 seconds every time you're doing it anyway.
Yeah, it feels like an eternity. Yeah, the door transition isn't nearly as slow as it might feel sometimes. So Boing's trying to pick off that one slug by itself. He might be slightly uneven on levels or something.
Did he end up in an encounter with just 3 of them? He might have been fearful that there was an Antoid in that pack down on the middle floor there.
Yeah, that's a reasonable concern. It looked like a 4-pack of slugs, though. One key thing that you might want to learn how to do when learning Boogie percent, just in general, is to be able to tell the difference between, what do you call them, Antoids and slugs. But there's Boing's 6-pack. And it looks like Timney's got a 6-pack as well. Looks like Boing didn't meet the 24 offense threshold while Timney did. So Boing isn't going to be able to automatically one-shot single Antoids, while Timney should be able to. Except Timney got red swirled by a 6-pack of slugs, which is unfortunate. Definitely, he couldn't stutter away from them because of the lag that the amount of spawns produced.
And there he goes, choosing to use Rockin' to clear out the slug pack real quick versus risking a run that may fail.
Yeah, the run will more than likely fail in that situation. Boing is masterfully stuttering around these Antoids to get up to the top. So they both used this little room outside that Timney's at right now to completely heal up on HP and psychic points using these butterflies that almost always spawn. So the ideal strategy with Titanic Ant, if you're level 8, is to use Rockin' twice in a row to wipe out the black Antoids in the background on the first turn and to do as much damage to Ant as possible on the second turn. And then from there, just kind of bash your way through. And in a similar fashion to the Frank fight, you're going to want to heal every single turn that Titanic Ant hits you, just because his very next move could very well be the end of you. Like that. I think Boing just got smashed for 59.
Yeah, he did. And unfortunately, if Titanic Ant wants to murder you, he is going to take you down with especially 2 smash attacks in a row.
And unfortunately, Ant has used the Psychic Shield, so Boing's not doing nearly as much damage as he could be. Or the Physical Shield, excuse me.
Yeah, at that point, you're either hoping for a smash to remove the shield and do the extra damage just like that and end the fight, or just hopefully you could get off 3 hits, make the shield disappear, and resume normal damage.
Very good Ant fight by Boing. Looks like Ant is going a little bit easy on Tim, too. And there we go. We have a very, very close race. This is very awesome.
This is exciting.
Timney's caught up a little bit after the Starman trailing. We have two very, very skilled players here. So Boogie percent is a category where instead of racing to defeat Gygus, we're going to be racing to defeat the Boogie tent and collecting the jar of fly honey. It's a much shorter category. It's going to be just over an hour long, as opposed to the full game, which will always be upwards of 4 hours.
I see that Boeing had opened up his item menu there. He was checking how many hamburgers he has, it looks like, and it looks like he probably should go shopping again.
Yeah, depending on the number of hamburgers you still have after the ant fight is over, you should or shouldn't go shopping a second time. You probably want about 5 or 6 for cops. Boeing already knows that he has some money left over from what he withdrew earlier, which is smart because it saves a trip to the drugstore. And now he feels like he has enough for cops, so he's going to head straight over to the police station. Timney, however, is going to forego burger shopping. So that places them even more even.
We could possibly see Timney take the lead here after the cop fight, depending on how it goes.
Yeah, this could make or break. Oh, they got to walk through the detective. I always love that. So the colloquial strategy for cops is that if you're below 60 HP, you're probably going to want to heal with a burger. And if you're like around 30 HP, you're going to probably want to heal with a life up.
Of course, each time you're hoping that you do not outspeed the cop in that round to get the maximum effect of the heal. The speeds are about even at this point, so it's a trade-off on who attacks first.
Boeing is 2 cops in, Timney's 1 cop in. Timney going for the rocket on this. Yeah, he does take the lead with that.
He's going to go with the burger heal here. Try to conserve 20 for 2 Rockins for strong here.
Yeah, that's what I would go for as well. He has a lot of burgers left and only 1 comp. And the smash, man. That turns the tides.
Yeah, but he's in a risky place for HP here on strong.
I'm gonna definitely need the burger up first. That guard really helped them out.
More often than not, you're hoping with strong, he's going to either lose his temper or is on guard, because they're just free turns versus the submission hold, which can do a massive amount of damage.
We have a sub 30 net for Timney. And a sub 30 net for Boeing.
That is awesome. Both runners pulling off a sub 30 net in a race is quite something.
Very well played by both runners. Let's hope neither of them gets the mouse. And we're good.
Boing looking like he has to pick up the extra burger here. Meanwhile, Timney gets to bypass it.
Yeah, Timney is well stocked.
As you make the exit to Onett here, one of the things you got to be careful are of the mushrooms, who can very easily ninja you out from behind the tree line. So that's one of the things the runners are watching out for as they leave, to make sure they don't get in an encounter with a mushroom on the way out.
Yeah, and if you're a runner like myself who's used to RNG manip, it's very easy to forget that you need to watch out for that stuff and get into an encounter that you don't mean to, because you're just like blindly walking through the area.
Both runners here are going to withdraw about $500 from the ATM here and save to set up for a death warp later on after they completed the car painter section of the run.
It's also just a very nice safety save to have in general for the Boogie tent category, because if at any point you die from this point onward, it's nice to be able to recover from Tucson instead of respawning back to your house. So they're both evenly burgered out now. They both have 2 left. I just caught the joke in chat. This race is intense. Now we have some very clean sync.
The spawns in these caves can also be very trolly, soaking up a lot of your time and placing you further behind the more you have to transition in and out of those caves.
Yeah, we just had a lead change just based off of those spawns in the caves. And now they're even again. Oh, and now Boing's ahead. Man.
Fortunately, the spawns were high enough. Some people think that you have to go all the ways up to the iron pencil and check it. You don't. You only have to hit a certain a line to trigger that you have officially seen the pencil, and it's not even necessarily on screen. It's just a little bit off to trigger the Apple Kit event to get the pencil eraser.
Yeah, the only thing required for you to do in order to activate that phone call and have Apple Kid give you the pencil eraser is to load the iron pencil into memory. And you do that just by walking far enough upward. It's a very specific spot. So what you're going to see Boing and Timney do throughout this kind of walk to the Happy Village is they're going to get 2 butterflies. After getting the first one, they'll have 20 psychic points and then use a life up to max out their health. And then they'll get another butterfly to max out their psychic points so that they'll be completely at full health by the time they get into Happy Village. And they'll use that to stay alive through the next few fights.
Now that we've returned to Peaceful Rest Valley for the second time, we'll be entering the meat of the area, where spawns can be quite fun. You've got UFOs, you've got whirling robos, you've got sprouts, you've got trees that explode when you kill them. And the runners are going to be doing their best to avoid all encounters in this area.
A very big important thing to learn how to do is to know how to use the environment to your advantage, like all the terrain, all the little things that you can get enemies in the overworld caught on. Like, for example, those enemies up there on Timney's side, the UFO and the robo, you know that since they're aggroed onto you, they aren't going to make their way around the cliff. So you just get them caught on there and you can walk as if there's nothing there.
Yeah, the Oaks, if they're far away, you can just walk and outspeed them. The UFOs, if you're walking vertically, you're able to outwalk them, but horizontally, forget about it. Whirling robos, just stay away from them or get them stuck.
I know Boeing wants to get around that tree, but he's worried about it. But he knows he can go underneath. The trees are actually slower than you, so you can take advantage of that fact as well. It's still neck and neck. This is incredible.
I got worried there for a second. It looks like Timney was going to go down Vogler Alley.
Yeah, I didn't even know where he was going. I didn't remember if there was any kind of beneficial item down there.
One of the alternative strats you can pick up, which we affectionately refer to as Vogler in some form or manner, is you go down that area and pick up a couple life noodles, and you can use that to save some time on the death warp later in using the couple life noodles to revive Paula instead of going to the hospital.
Or you're talking like I started running this 3 months ago. I know what Vogler is.
And we're neck and neck here as we prepare to enter a shack fight.
We are almost exactly tied. This is wild. Yeah, real quick, let me go ask my mom. She's downstairs. She probably knows. Timney regaining a few frames because of the shorter player name, or the shorter nest name. That was, oh my gosh, that was exactly tied. That was exactly together. Wild. Oh, the rock and miss on both
two of them
and the
Oh,
crow.
no.
One needs to be real careful here. Timney, in an effort to save psychic points by bashing out the cultist A. Looks like it worked.
Losing a hamburger in the process to the crow, though.
Oh, they both had a double rock and miss. I didn't even see that.
Looks
Timney
like
going
Timney's
for
going to pick up the croissant to make up for the burger he lost.
Boing's going for it too. Boing was thinking about eggs. I knew somebody would get a kick out of that.
Now, as we enter the second cultist fight here, both runners are hoping that neither one of them call for help, and it looks like Timney had to use the rocket to kill both of them. If it stays the one, you can bash it out and conserve your PP for Car Painter.
I love that both runs so far we've had somebody make an IHOP reference in chat. I go back and forth between over medium and over hard personally.
Personally, I'm an over easy type of guy. I like to dip my toast into it.
That's the skate man thing that he loves. And Timmy has gotten past Carpenter. And it looks like Boing is about to as well.
Car Painter was one of those scripted fights we were talking about earlier that you want to become familiar with as you run through, knowing when he's going to lightning, when he's going to heal, and when he's going to use the paintbrush.
I want to say Boing and Tim are both at around the same HP level, around 40. Oh, Nahiri, yes, please. BGG took us to IHOP, like he took our relay team to IHOP at Limit Break, and it was the best. It was delicious. I wanted to get everybody in on that, but nobody wanted to. Oh yeah, that was really unfortunate with crows.
Slow down spawn and then getting stuck and taking the red swirl. Oh. And then we have Boing retaking the lead over this.
Yep. One thing you want to be careful of doing in general, thankfully his HP isn't low enough, but if your HP is low enough and you're in this situation, you don't want to use auto fight to fight the crows. Yeah, that's a very bad position.
Oh no.
It's the Janet of crows. But yeah, if you auto fight and your HP is low enough and you're trying to set up for a death warp, you will accidentally heal, because that's what Ness is trained to do. RPG Jerkbird.
As you leave the shack, you also gotta watch out for the photo trigger that is on the below entrance. When you come the first time, you could take either the bottom entrance or go around the top. But once you have Paula, you gotta watch out for the photo trigger or take a mandatory time loss. And it looks like Boing's going either to walk back or more likely take a UFO fight out in PRV.
I doubt he's gonna walk back, but he might try and go for the Cup of Life noodles if he can get there. But since he got that immediate spawn, he would rather red swirl himself that way. So these guys are likely going to kill him fast.
Yeah, that's a nice combination there, at least doubling the chance to get shot at.
And now at least, even if they don't attack, they're both taking damage every turn. There we go, that was a good death warp.
Timney here is going to take the classic mole playing rough, and we'll see how many times the mole will be absent-minded.
That would have been a good attack if he didn't miss. But yeah, that definitely gives Boing the lead. Paula coming in clutch with these smashes, but that's good. That was still a good death warp for Timney. It's still anybody's game here.
Absolutely. We still got Winters and the tent itself as our next set of gatekeepers.
So basically, Ness is going on tour to let everybody know that he rescued a girl. And Boing had to despawn some cops and dogs. And oh, hippie manippy, hippie manippy. That's one.
So in total for this tour de Paula, you're going to be seeing Paula's dad, some random thief in the park, and going to set the Runaway 5 free from their contract.
Starstreak, you're banned. So that weird little walk that they took to get into the theater building is an effort to avoid a photo trigger. If you glide along the side wall and you stay aligned with the very wall of the building, you won't touch the area trigger where you get the photo man to come. Here we have the Runaway 6, Drum Bordis, and the Runaway 5.
Now, Uko, who do you prefer, the Runaway 6 or the Tanzura brothers dressed in their sleek black suits from the Japanese version of this?
Yo, I'll be honest with you, I'm all about the sleek black suits. It's got so much more class.
I don't know. Personally, I like the opposite. I like the Runaway 6 here with all their different colors.
Yeah, see, it's hard to choose.
To me.
It's hard to choose.
I see a Tanzura here in the chat.
And me and Temple are all about the Tanzura brothers. They're the truest G's. Someone tell Boing that telephone pole skip was inoptimal.
Uko, any consideration for doing left side bus strats?
Not me. I saw somebody do it in a race earlier today, and I was like, I thought we dropped that.
I mean, I could understand the left side just trying to be more careful around the photo trigger, I would assume.
But it's so easy to avoid the photo trigger on the right side.
It's also real easy to hit it if you're being absent-minded. I've done that.
And don't be absent-minded. Oh.
That mole must be rubbing off on me.
I have a movement that I do every time. I hold straight right, and then I hold straight down left, and then I hold straight left, and it gets me behind the pole almost every time, while avoiding the trigger. So the ghosts in this tunnel here, who would normally turn you around if you tried to enter through them, they can't stand rock and roll. They don't understand the life we live. So we just barrel right through, and we can make our way over to the Threed. Oh, Boing with the ninja fly. At least it's only one. He's gonna freeze. And Paula's gonna die anyway.
Rip
Ugh.
fire strats.
Yeah, we thought. Reach Threed, PogChamp. Another troll fly, man. Yeah, sometimes when you're trying to get out of there, a fly will just enter your range, and you won't be able to get rid of them.
Fortunately for Boing, if he were to take a death there, it would not be as detrimental because he had already triggered the zombies there. So he could go straight to the Threed Hotel from there and continue on with the story.
Yes, that would work. Smart move with that heal there. Good safety. So that brings us back to a near even state again. Within seconds.
This has been an insanely close race so far.
It's been so awesome. This is a great race. Flies are jerks, much like birds. That they are.
Now that Nest and Paula are both stuck underground, seems like permanently, we're going to move on to our next favorite section here, Winters. Everyone has a different feeling towards it, ranging from no to, oh no, please no. And our introduction to the best/worst character of the series, Jeff.
Love him or hate him, you gotta hate him. There's a fierce controversy over whether or not you favor Jeff. Nice one, boy.
Now, personally here, I don't understand this sequence of events. He gives you a key, and he knows it's not going to work. Why not just give you the bad key machine right off the bat? He's just being a jerk.
See, like, I respect that point of view, but at the same time, I'm just as stupid when it comes to things like that sometimes. It's like, here's this thing, like, I'm pretty sure it could work, and I really want it to work, so please try it. And then it doesn't, and it's like, well, I shouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah, but he doesn't even say, I thought it was going to work. He said he had a feeling it wasn't going to work.
I would say the same thing. It probably won't work, but it could. And it's like, okay, but if it doesn't work, you're really inconveniencing me. And I'm like, no, trust me on this. It probably won't work, but give it a shot.
Mandatory training to unlock Ness and Paula out of their prison later.
Love or hate Jeff. We got Bubble Monkey now. And I don't think there's a single soul on this planet who likes him.
Not a fan favorite, Uko?
Not personally. Oh, that red on Timney's side, that monkey. See, that's why we don't like Monkey, because that was purely the fault of Monkey.
If only that was a split second later, that could have been a green swirl.
Yeah, exactly. It could have been anything but that. We got Jerk Monkey and Jerk Bird. There is a widely used FFZE mode of Bubble Monkey. It's called Wanted for Crimes Against Earthbound Speedrunners.
You'll see that Timney and Boing took different paths around the tent. In front of that last tent there is a photo trigger. If you were to go down at all, you would trigger it. Going up above is safer, clearly avoiding it, but going below is certainly faster as long as you don't get blocked.
It looked like Timney went for the skip, but he mistimed his down movement so that he went up anyways, which that happens from time to time. Let's get our Tessie hype in chat, please.
Let's throw out those MS Paint beasts.
Yeah, there's actually a cartridge of Chrono Trigger on the ground, and you don't want to run into those because that'll lose you time. That's how you do it, Nahiri. Alright, so here we have Brick Road. Brick Road has 3 enemies that are almost always mandatory to fight. I see Boing went for the first proto skip. It would have been impressive if he pulled it off. But that's not good.
I see he's choosing to use the defense strat to try and prolong his life as long as possible, and hopefully around maybe turn 5 he'll be able to run away.
Yeah, around turn 5 or 6 is when you can relatively safely start running away from the fight and be able to successfully get away. And defending here is smart because it wastes turns quickly, and also you take less damage if the protos decide to attack you. But normally, the thing you're going to want to do is just bash the protoplasm 3 times, and you should go down. Thankfully, Boing got away, and it looks like Tim also got a summon.
Yeah, Boing got real lucky there with that last proto attack missing him.
Boing going for duck skip, but it's caught on a subpixel. He wanted it, but he's realizing that it's probably too late. It's gonna be smarter that he took the fight in that situation. And Timmy's gonna be fighting the duck as well.
Wasting no time diving right into it.
Yeah, there you go. If you know that you can't manipulate the duck's position and his movement, it's usually wiser to just take the fight and just auto your way through it quickly. Boing going for the second proto skip here, and it looks like he's got it. Sometimes Monkey will cooperate with you there on that, sometimes he won't.
He's just walking along, and it was like, oh, Chrono Trigger's on the ground. I'm gonna stop.
Exactly.
Next up is Pond Cave, another runner favorite here.
Timney did not get the skip, unfortunately. I think we're trying to sync up the timers here. Come on, Boeing, start that. I didn't realize Boeing picked up a fresh egg. Got some chicken percent happening here. Yeah, basically Pond Cave is just despawn central. You gotta just not get into any fights and despawn as many enemies as you can. You just need to be able to walk through here, and sometimes it just doesn't let you. That was a very close stutter, but thankfully he got the green swirl, so he's gonna be able to get away.
Yeah, using Bubble Monkey to his advantage there.
Yeah, Lexarium saying the duck must have dropped a fresh egg. Timney's having some fun here. That's not a good pincer to be in. Thankfully he got out of it. That double slug fight's not good. You should be okay, it's just gonna lose him a lot of time.
Yeah, fortunately Jeff is strong enough at that point to quickly dispatch of the slugs he may encounter.
Yeah, the main concerning enemy that you don't want to get into a fight with here is the mice, and of course the shrooms, which are toward the end of the cave. Yeah, we got that chicken. Boing has entered the Skyrunner. Looks like Pond Cave is going to be what did it.
We still got Bogey 10 itself to possibly throw a wrench in Boing's lead here.
That we do. It's still either runner's game. We don't know what's going to happen. Skyrunner.
I've noticed in Pond Cave that some runners decide to take a single slug fight as they approach the room if they don't manage to spawn everyone, but leave one behind just to make progress forward.
Yeah, that was something that I never considered. When I saw Ari do it earlier, it was very interesting. It made me rethink my Pond Cave strategy.
I mean, it's a guaranteed time loss, but it also prevents any further spawns from happening.
Could be a better potential time gain if you're trying to despawn. Word on the street is Jeff's dad, Dr. Endonuts, is secretly trying to kill the 4 kids. But that's a fan theory we can get into another time. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Boing doing a minor text skip there by stopping right in front of the door but not touching the door. You can open your menu and use the bad key machine to unlock the door from a distance. You skip the text box that says the door is locked. Boing playing it smart to despawn that thing, and playing it smart again to go around the trees to avoid that pumpkin kid.
Now, as Boing gets ready for the fight, Uko, what is the worst possible scenario that Tent can throw out turn 1 that we're looking to avoid?
I would rather not talk about it. Basically, there's a 1 in 36 chance that Boogie Tent can just bypass everything and one-shot Jeff, and that's the last thing we want to see at all in this tournament.
Flash Alpha is pretty deadly, too, if Jeff gets confused and
that's a
turns
new,
the bottle rocket upon themselves.
That's a classic new, like, not new, but like recently seen plenty of times way to lose the run. Jeff's bottle rocket didn't do very much there, so we're gonna have to rocket our way through.
But the Solidified did get off, getting a free turn there.
And that does help. And there we go.
And the game is going to go to Boing. Good job, Boing.
Boing continually demonstrating again and again his very real skill that he's developed over his time running this game.
And Boing has finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 21 seconds.
Let's hope Timney can bring it on home. Yeah, I like that we put a winner text there because there was some confusion last race. And there it is.
Timney's also going to be finishing with a very strong time here. This has been a very close race.
It was very, very close the entire time. Very exciting watch. GG's to both runners for sure. They both demonstrated some great skill. It was a very, very good watch. Definitely follow both of the runners, Boing and RomTimney. Oh yeah, is this going to be a PB for him?
Yeah, looks like Timney has an official SRL time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 1 second. A very nice PB on SRL.
Q.
Once again, I can't stress how close of a race this was. It was so much fun to watch both runners excellently move throughout the game. Give them both a follow.
So I don't know if there's going to be a restream for the race between Dragon's Beard and Fortunato later tonight, but that is scheduled for 10 p.m. Eastern. And tomorrow, myself and Gearless Robot are going to be facing off at 8 Eastern. So if you like my voice, and you want to root for me, feel free to do that. So yeah. So I don't know if there's going to be a restream for the race between Dragon's Beard and Fortunato later tonight, but that is scheduled. Yeah, someone with that metal music playing. All Gucci. And yeah, this is just the beginning of the Earthbound Super Series. We got the rest of prelims taking place all the way through the rest of this month up until September 30th. And then after that is over, we're going to also have on the side a glitchless series, which is going to be the full run through of Earthbound, which I'm personally very excited for as well, because we haven't done that in past Super Series. We've had the Boogie % tournament every year, but we're having a glitchless tournament as well, which is really exciting to me.
It's going to be good races all around coming up on both the Boogie % and the full glitchless rounds. Now, the full runs will be starting after the conclusion of the Boogie %, right?
I think we're going to get like our first initial like matchups after Boogie % prelims are over, but I don't know when the actual races are going to start. Airframe, thank you for joining me on commentary. This was very fun. And thank you, D-Rock, for joining me on commentary for the last race as well.
Oh, no problem. It was a blast. And thank you yourself for taking the time out to do this, too.
Yeah, I was really excited because I've been working really hard at IHOP, my job, and my managers gave me the day off today. So I was like, oh, they're looking for commentators? I'm in. I don't ever get to do this, so it was really exciting to have the opportunity. Oh, and of course, special thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting these restreams. I look forward to more of these in the future.